So for years, I've had lots of you guys asking me to look at specific products, and I crossed one recently where I was like, we should talk about this because it's really, really interesting. So I'm going to talk to you today about Truebill, and this is going to be a multi-part review. So today we're going to talk about my initial experience with it, why I checked it out, and then we'll follow up with, what was accomplished, etc. Okay, so what is Truebill? Let's start there. So it is supposed to help you manage your money. It's supposed to help you cancel subscriptions, identify and cancel, and it's supposed to help you negotiate down your bills. Okay. Wow. That sounds amazing, right? We've seen all the ads on TikTok. They're great. And what really made me check it out is I saw a charge for Truebill on my 18-year-old son's bank account. Yep. I read his bank account. Sorry, I'm that parent. And I was like, wow, like they really, if they're getting an 18-year-old to check out their services, they really are having an impact. And that's very interesting to me because who owns Truebill is Rocket Mortgage. Okay. Now look, I am a mortgage lender. They are my competitor, but I want you to know that this review is unbiased from that because as a lender, I recognize the brilliance of this. I would love, I would love if my company owned a company like Truebill, because let me walk you through how it works, and then I'll explain why that makes sense. Okay. So the big pitch is let us help get your money in order, which as prices are going up on everything, I mean, it's tight for everyone. We all want to figure out how we can trim an extra 20, 30, 40, 50, even $100 a month. Anything we can do, the better, right? I mean, with gas, my God, that will just bridge one tank of gas. So it's super easy to set up. You go in and you upload, you have to give them your passwords. Okay. So they are partnered with Plaid. Plaid is a third party that will verify your banking information and import all of your transactions for the last year. Okay, that's what it looked like to me. It looked like the last year of everything that I had done was imported into the system. Now, as you're doing this, you are clicking away. Yes, I understand they have my data. Yes, I understand they won't have my account numbers, but they will have all my transactions. They will have my spending patterns. They will have all this. Okay. But as a typical consumer, we're just like, who cares? Like, great. Like, enjoy my trips to Target and Home Goods. Like, best of luck. Okay. So you are giving up some of your information in order to use the service. So that's very important for you to know. Am I concerned about fraud or security? Not really, because look, Rocket Mortgage, they're the largest lender in the country. They've got security figured out. If they didn't, there'd be millions of homeowners who would be hosed right now, and that's not happening. So I am comfortable with the security. Now, what I really thought was interesting is it did it pretty quick. There were a couple bank accounts that took longer. Now, what I did is I just did my credit cards and one bank account. I did not put all my information in there. And in all honesty, I don't think you need to put in your savings. I don't think you need to put in, they have a feature which is net worth, right? Which people may be like, well, I want to know my net worth. I don't know how much of your data you want to give up for that. That's something you need to think about yourself. Like, do you want them to have access to your bank statements, every single deposit, every single withdrawal for the last 12 months? Or do you really just want to see where your bad behavior is? Now, if you're predominantly using your checking account for all of your spending, yeah, you need to, that would be one to put in. But if you have, retirement accounts or savings accounts or stuff you're not really touching, or for instance, I don't use my ATM card at all. You can't pay me to use it because I've talked to so many security threat people over the years. I put everything on credit cards and I pay it off every month. That is how I operate. That is what I've been told is the safest way to manage my money. So I uploaded my credit cards and one bank account that does have some stuff going in and out of it. Here's what I loved. I loved the format for the reoccurring subscriptions. Okay. Now I check my subscriptions. However, the way that they lay it out is so easy. It's so easy. I was floored. I was like, wow, this is very, very impressive. And what I also liked about it is I could identify one and click on, you can edit it, you can hide it, or you can ask them to cancel it. Okay. Now I had a couple on there like New York Times, which was so frustrating. So New York Times has been charging me every month. Every single time I try to log into that paper, it says I don't have an account. It doesn't matter what email I have, it says I don't have an account, which drives me nuts. So I haven't been able to figure out how to cancel that. Well, so with them, I click cancel and they're working on canceling it right now. Okay, now, will that one cancel? I'm not sure yet. So they do say in certain circumstances, it takes 7 to 10 days. I did notice that with my Disney Plus subscription, it was canceled immediately, which was pretty impressive, I have to say. There were some that they couldn't cancel. You know, you click on certain things and it would say, hey, because of their security, we don't have the ability to cancel this. So here's how you do it. And I really liked that because it was showing me what I could do. Okay, Xbox, man, I'm still hosed on that one. That one they couldn't cancel, and then the way it directs you, you have to go to support, you have to know your account. So I'm gonna try out Trim. I'm gonna try out Trim in a couple weeks and see if they can cancel it. We'll see if I ever cancel that subscription. But I digress. What I also thought was really interesting is I am a big Amazon user, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Like, I've joked about how they've offered me business accounts, but they have, it's a problem. And I always thought Prime was like, I don't know, $100 a year. And I thought that my Prime included, you know, music and Audible and Prime TV. But what was interesting is that based on what they showed me, it didn't. I was being double charged. So I got really angry about that, and it actually led me to cancel every single Amazon service. So as of yesterday, I am no longer an Amazon Prime member. I know. It feels heavy, right? Like, look, if you guys don't use Amazon, you're like, oh, she's so dramatic. If you guys use Amazon, you know that's a big, when you say you're not doing Prime, you're done. And the reason is, look, Amazon makes it way too easy to shop. Let's not pretend. They are masters of that. They're not doing anything wrong. They're just really, really good at what they do. So when a super buyer like me cancels their membership, right? Because I'm not going to pay for shipping. Like, that's a hard, solid block. It's serious. And I do have to say that Truebill laid it out in a way to me where I was like, wow, this is a wake-up call. So I really like the reoccurring subscriptions. You know, with the transactions and the money management, Mint already does that. So I wasn't too drawn to that. With the net worth, I think it's a great way to get more of your data, but I don't really see it as necessary. They are attempting to cancel 7 to 10 things for me. So I will update you guys on what cancels and what they're unable to cancel. Now, something else to note, when you do sign up for it, it says, hey, people, you know, we don't want to tell you how much you have to pay to use Truebill, but this is what people generally will pay. Pick what's best for you. And it was like $7 a month, $8 a month, or $9 a month. And then they had a thing for make up what you would prefer. So I was like, perfect, like zero. Like, I'm sorry, if you're gonna ask me how much I want to pay for something, I'm gonna say zero. Like, I would like to pay as little as possible. Like, gas is expensive. But when you click on that button, it doesn't let you go below the 7. And what I've heard is that based on, it's not the same for everyone, because my son's was $5 and I know they have them as low as 3. So I don't know how they're determining that, you know, because that does come up after they have your data. So that's interesting. So I'd be curious if any of you guys, you know, had 10, 11, or $12, because I've heard it's as much as 12. The other thing is to cancel the reoccurring subscriptions. It does say, we will do this for you if you're premium. It does not tell you how much premium costs. So that's something else I have to figure out, is how much does the premium cost? How effective was the cancellation, you know, because realistically, if they cancel the stuff, I don't think I need the service anymore. I'd probably cancel it right after that. But I do think they should show up front, premium costs XYZ extra, which it did not. Okay, so that will be really interesting to see. They do have the ability, they look at your bills too. So they'll be like, you know, AT&T, we can save you 25%, or Comcast, or this. But they charge a fee for that. And that's really important for you guys to know, is that they charge 40% of the savings they get you. And I read a couple reviews where people had said that, like, they lowered my internet bill, but I got worse internet, and they charged me 40% and I still have to get my internet back. So I'm not gonna be testing that feature because my life depends on the internet and my phone. But if any of you guys have tested out that feature, I would love to know your feedback. Overall, I think it's really interesting. I think from a mortgage line, like the data they're gonna have, guys, it's amazing. And I'm curious to see if 5-10 years from now, if that impacts underwriting. Right? Because that's kind of the thing. Like, I was thinking about it, and it's like, you know, it's a separate company, but it says Rocket on it really clearly. It says Truebill Rocket, and they've been talking about, you know, getting rid of traditional credit reports, other ways to underwrite people, and, you know, this could be the segue. So as a lender, like, if you guys, let's say you have a couple months where you have insufficient funds, the next year you don't, I wouldn't know about it if you're buying the house the next year. But with something like this, like, they have all the data. So I'm really curious to see what happens with that, because if you have John Brown, who you know is terrible with his money because you can see a year of it, but you're giving him a loan saying he's great with money, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud of all the different ways the data could work. You know, it may be solely separate and Rocket may not have access to it, but if it was, why would they have the Rocket logo on there? So very curious to see how it develops, but I do think it's an interesting product. I'm trying it out myself. I thought it was really easy to cancel subscriptions, and we'll see how many of those cancel. So let me know if you've tried it, guys. I'm gonna keep on trying some products, seeing if we can save some money. If everything cancels that I tried to cancel, it is going to save me over $200 a month. So that in itself would be worth, you know, paying for the service for a month. So I hope this has been helpful. As always, questions and comments, please reach out. Thanks.